the corner. Stevie Mitchell, three. There it is.
Gave it to him.
There it is. Cam Jones with a triple-double.
Welcome to Inside Marquette Basketball here on Marquette's campus at the Al McGuire Center. I'm Sophia Minner, joined by Marquette men's head coach Shaka Smart. And coach, it's been a busy couple weeks here. Now 8 games into the season, your team undefeated so far and 4 wins for your team since we last caught up with you. The big win against Purdue, of course, a top 10 team early in the season, but that's a statement win, right? Against a top 10 opponent, a very tough opponent. You were able to build a 20-point lead in the second half. But of course, the headline there was Cam Jones and his first career triple-double, just the third in the program's history and the first one to do it since Dwayne Wade in the Elite Eight. For Cam to put together that kind of performance, and you noted just his development in the passing game, right? Becoming a willing passer. For Cam to do a triple-double, we know he's a scorer, but to put together a complete game like that.
Well, I thought he did a great job of letting the game come to him, organizing our team, running our team like a point guard should, not forcing much early. I think at halftime he only had 1 or 2 baskets, but then did a great job down the stretch as some things opened up, attacking the basket. He's really striking the balance well right now through 8 games, shooting 65% from the field. I told him going into the season, you're going to be evaluated by 4 things. Number 1, winning. Number 2, defense. Number 3, passing. And number 4, efficiency. And I think he's really done a good job of having those things at the front of his mind. If he averages 20 points or if he averages 30 points, that in itself is not necessarily going to be a huge difference. Obviously, we'll take 10 extra points, but if he can score 20 like he's doing and get other guys involved and play with great efficiency, that's even better for our team.
Cam Jones now the 3rd player in Marquette history with a triple-double. He joins Tony Miller and Dwayne Wade.
Of those 4 areas, Coach, that you were just talking about with Cam, is there an area that has stood out to you the most here in the first 8 games?
Well, his efficiency's been terrific, 65% from the field, I think 45% from 3. His assist-to-turnover ratio is over 4 to 1. And so those are numbers that are really, really impressive. But, as we get into better and better competition, teams are going to do more things to try to take him away. I think we'll see, people put more 2 defenders on him at different times to just make him pass and make someone else go make the play. And so he's going to have to continue to find other ways to impact the game. But I think he's taken steps in all those areas, and he has room for growth in all those areas.
An early win like that against such a highly ranked opponent, what does that do for the confidence of your team? I mean, your veterans have won a lot. They've won a lot of big games, but maybe for your younger players who contributed in that win.
Well, I think it does a lot for our team from the standpoint of belief, connectivity. We live in a day and age where, let's be honest, big wins have a galvanizing effect on teams. And, losses can have the opposite effect if you're not careful. Purdue had beaten us the last 2 years. Cam and Job and Stevie's sophomore year at Purdue, last year in Hawaii. Both of those games were games where we felt like we were in the game, but Purdue asserted their will against us at crucial times and just was the better team when it mattered most. And, obviously that was Zach Edey was the dominant player on that team. Tyler and Oso were the leaders of our team. So these are 2 new iterations of ours and their team. But I have, as I said after the game, ultimate respect for that program. I think they have one of the top 2 programs in the country right now as it relates to, valuing the things that go into winning and, continuity. The way that Coach Painter and his staff coach their team and recruit. They've gone about it in a similar way to us. They don't take a lot of transfers. They try to develop their young players, and they're doing a heck of a job with that.
Follow that with a win on the road in the Bahamas against Georgia, and that was the David Joplin game, a career-high 29 points for him, and really a breakout game for him, kind of a performance you've probably been waiting to see from Jop here early in the season.
Well, he's had a few really high-scoring games, and actually back-to-back games, Georgia, and then into Stonehill. I thought his aggressiveness was very, very good, but then not as good against Western Carolina in our last game. I'm on job pretty hard. That's how it's going to be. He can accept that now or can accept that later. He's been very good about it. But, we've got, a matter of 4+ months, maximum left to coach him at Marquette. And we're trying to get all the meat off the bone, as I've explained. You mentioned Cam earlier. There's a reason that there's not a lot of cognitive dissonance for Cam, and that's because he's in lockstep with me. And I think for Jop and a lot of other guys on our team, whether they want to admit it or not, that's an example for them to follow if they want to be their best, because that's just, at this level, that's what's required. But it's great to see Jop when he's aggressive, when he asserts himself. That game against Georgia was a tricky game. In retrospect, a risky game to schedule in some ways. Glad we were able to win the game. It was a game that, it was just a tricky game, challenging game in a lot of ways, but our guys hung in there and stayed together, and we got some good contributions off the bench.
The two last wins here at home, dominating victories. You scored 94 points in each of those wins, Coach. And you talked about going deeper into your bench and really giving some extended run to your younger players. What's the value of that this early in the season?
Well, just to try to bring those guys along. They actually played more than they've earned. And I really appreciate, and I always have appreciated since we've been here, our older players' willingness to have a great attitude when they're only playing 20 to 24 minutes in a game, when based on how they've practiced and how they played, they deserve or have earned to play more like 30 to 34 minutes. But again, we have to develop our bench. We have to develop our young players. Growth is one of our core values, and there's no more valuable time to grow than in the game. And that's both when you're doing good things in the game and also when you're taking your lumps or making mistakes in the game, because that tape is very, very valuable.
Shaka Smart's interview is presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, the official banking partner of Marquette University.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
After a serious injury, you'll need an experienced team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my happiest.
This is me at my bravest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Aurora Healthcare on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
Achieving my dreams means setting boundaries with alcohol and other drugs. In the classroom, I am focused and keep distractions to a minimum. I need to balance my studies, basketball, friends, and healthy choices. During training, I'm giving every ounce of energy I have. Sometimes winning means not taking every shot I'm given. Join me in Rise Drug Free MKE, and let's achieve our dreams.
Jop, what have you seen from Demarius behind the scenes in practices that he's kind of just flashing during games now?
Yeah, he's special. You just got to give him a chance. I feel like you guys saw when he's out there. He's amazing. So it was a good step in the right direction today, and we just got to keep, putting in deposits, keep, taking care of our bodies so that when he does go in, he can do stuff like that and impact the game, immediately. So we just need him to keep going.
My teammates, they believe in me, so just that brings me confidence every day. They keep telling me to stay assertive, stay aggressive, so that takes me a long way every time.
Chase has just seemed to taking it to another level on defense. His deflections numbers are by far the most on the team. Steals. How have you guys seen how he affects the game in the defensive end?
Just his aggressiveness is kind of a gift. where he's super athletic. We all know that, but he's been super aggressive and going after it and getting into guys and taking the ball from being in the passing lanes and, taking, chances, gambling, because, he's so athletic, he can recover. So he's got to be able to be that guy for us. That's what we need him to be. And you can see he can do it, against the best of the best. So that's what we're all gearing up towards, working on it every day so that he can do it against the best of the best, because we're going to need it.
I agree. When he sets his mind to, if he wants to take the ball out, he's going to take it. That's one thing that I've been doing since I've been here, is trying to pick at him and Stu, just all these guys' brains about their defensive identities. And I'm trying to pick that up myself because it's special. If we guard like that, we all guard like that, we're going to have a special season.
Coach, we just heard from Demarius Owens, and we've spent a lot of time talking about this young freshman. Obviously missed the first couple games of the season, but now getting some more minutes here. 5 games for him now, very early for him. This is a player that your team and your coaching staff are very, very excited about the potential that Demarius has. The last 2 games especially, what did he show you with the minutes that he got?
Well, he's shooting the ball extremely well, 4 for 4 from 3-point range, which we'll take that any day of the week. He is a versatile player. He can do a lot of different things. He has great size, can handle the ball. He's one of the best passers on our team.
You talked about him wanting to use his length and his athleticism to his advantage. How do you think he can continue to grow into that and kind of figure out what kind of player he can be at this level?
The best way for him to grow into that is to spend as much time as possible with me. And I don't say that in any way to make it about me, but the reality is, and Cam, I think, is a good example of this, the closer you are aligned to your head coach, in terms of understanding what are the things that go into winning that are specific to me and my position and my role on the team as a young player, it takes away cognitive dissonance. It's clarity. Go do what is required, what the coach knows will allow you to go be successful out there, and do so with clarity of mind and a great attitude and enthusiasm for winning. And I think it's really easy for our fans to see, man, this guy's got a terrific future in the Marquette uniform.
Well, and we've seen some intriguing rotations over the last 2 wins, especially with the 3 freshmen on the floor, right, with Demarius and Royce and Caden, and then paired with Zayd Lowry and Trey Norman. What do you like about seeing your younger players on the floor together and how they're feeding off of each other?
I try to kind of err on the side of trying to get those guys as many minutes as possible in games like that, as opposed to manipulating the lineups, which, there's different ways to look at it. Certainly you want to get to know what are your best lineups, but to me, if I can get a guy 20 minutes as opposed to 15 minutes, that's the most valuable thing. In the biggest games and the biggest moments, do we want all of our juniors and seniors on the bench? Probably not. But I thought in both of those games, particularly the Western Carolina game, I thought the lineup with all the young guys did perform well, and on the defensive end, those guys held their own. They played more solid on the defensive end.
With your 3 freshmen, you've said, and this is not unsurprising, their offense is ahead of their defense, and that's part of their development, right, is adopting the defensive mentality that the standards that you have for your team defensively. How do you think they're buying into that, of both sides of the ball?
Well, I think they're buying in really well. I think there's a difference, though, between buy-in and complete execution. I think they just, as a freshman, you just hold on for dear life and do your very best. I think there is, some benefit of being a young guy that doesn't know what he doesn't know, because you can just go after it, which Royce and Demarius both have some of that, which we'll take that. Caden, as well as Trey and Zayd, having been here for a year, those guys have a little bit more of the perspective of really how hard it is and what's really required, and maybe in some ways even how far they have to go, but that's okay. As we said when we went to Lake Delavan and we caught a bunch of fish, we're not throwing you guys back. This is not catch and release. This program is one where we bring guys in, we develop relationships over the course of junior year, senior year of high school. We try to get you as ready as we can for your first college basketball game, knowing that you're going to be a long way away from a finished product. And then over the course of your career, we're going to try to develop you as a person first. you have to grow in all the areas of personal character to be able to be this grown-up out there in crucial situations, and then all the aspects of your offensive and defensive game. And that never stops. I mean, David Joplin's not far away from his 8th semester here at Marquette, and it's going to be till the final buzzer where it is pushing him and Cam and Stevie to be their best and get the most out of them.
Well, and we're learning a lot about the depth of this team, and you feel like this could really become a strength as you're getting these younger players more minutes on the floor and you're getting them more into the rotation with your veteran players who, of course, you're going to continue to rely on.
Well, depth is really important. We learned that last year, when we had some injuries. Obviously Zayd got hurt in our last game, so if he's sidelined for a little while here, then again that's going to have consequences for other guys to step forward. But that's part of the game, and that's why you have a team that you cultivate with young guys that can step forward. We're not a program that adds a lot of transfers, so that's going to be freshmen, that's going to be sophomores, that's going to be guys that maybe have not proven themselves yet at a super high level, but guys that we believe in and guys that have worked their butts off here in practice and behind the scenes and that want more opportunities. So when that opportunity comes about, it's about making the most of it.
Inside Marquette Basketball is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare, helping you to live fully.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light, choose chill.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my happiest.
This is me at my bravest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Aurora Healthcare on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
Hey, grab me one too.
Inside the Fiserv Forum, alongside former Marquette star and NBA veteran Wesley Matthews. Lane Grindle with you here courtside.
It's a great experience, a different way to watch the game that you love and try to share some wisdom and, just stay in tune with the game.
Over to Joplin, an early opportunity for Jones. He doesn't miss many.
Not too many. I mean, that's perfect execution right there.
Being a professional for 15 years and being on this court, for 4 years, what goes into broadcasting is truly remarkable, what these guys do, men and women behind the scenes, to put up such a good product.
Jones again, nice speed inside to Hamilton.
That's a great pass. And he's just showing all that he can do, the standard in which Marquette holds themselves to, which Shaka holds these guys to.
As a Marquette student, one of the first things that we did was media training, and that was obviously the first media training I've ever had to deal with. The way that they approached it, it was very business-like, and it got you really prepared for what you were going to encounter as you continue on in sport. And not even sport, just life. How do you protect yourself? How do you uplift yourself, uplift your team, your community, spread messages, how can you create a platform? And, Marquette has been huge for that for me.
You got a jersey presented to you by Shaka Smart earlier this year.
Yeah, that was pretty special, man. It really was.
It was one really iconic jersey that we said, we got to bring that back. And so this year, we bring him back. All right, the jersey that you wore, and we got you a version. We got you, of course, your own version. So this is your jersey, of course.
To call a uniform I used to wear a retro and a throwback, it's a little hurtful. But, to see how much love those uniforms and those jerseys got, because when we put them on, we felt that. You felt standing out, being unique. One of the many things that makes Marquette special is, you know, the uniforms, the jerseys, the style, and for that to come back is awesome. And in history is why we all come here. You know, you see the history of Al McGuire and D. Wade and the Final Four guys, and, you know, the legacy we tried to leave, and the legacy that, you know, Marcus Howard and Jimmy Butler and all those guys have left. Like, you want to leave your mark on that as well. And uniforms were a big part of that.
Coach, we just heard from Wes Matthews being on the other side, on the broadcasting side, calling Marquette games now, which is a really cool opportunity, I think, for any former player to come back and call games of their alma mater, a team that, you know, he's obviously still very connected with you and your program and your players. But Wes is someone that has poured a lot into this program, and especially wearing those gold jerseys that fans have been so excited to see come back, that 2007 through 2011 era that Wes and Dominique and Jarrell contributed so much to. How has it been?
It's your era.
It's my era, I know. Selfishly, I was very excited to see those gold jerseys come back. But for Wes to come back in this capacity and then also share the history of that jersey, the winning that was done in that jersey as well.
Well, first of all, he's really good at it, the broadcasting. I mean, I told him, if this is something you really want to do, you could be terrific. And I'm talking about, you know, doing, you know, one of the national guys doing games all over the country and in prime time, because he's just got a lot like D. Wade when he did the Olympics. He's got an ability to tell stories. He's likable, which is huge, and he's got a poise on the air, which is really, I think, advanced for someone that hasn't done it very much. In terms of the jerseys, I think they look great. I'm one of the ones that, you know, in our program that our players are so young, they don't remember, but that remembers that era of Marquette basketball and, you know, those jerseys and most importantly, the guys that wore those jerseys. I mean, a jersey or even the color of a jersey is what it is until, you know, a player brings it to life or a team brings it to life. And so I think they look great on our guys. We just want our guys to understand, yeah, you're 18 to 22 years old, so, you know, you might not be as interested in history as some of us older folks, but this really means something. And it means something to you and to your family. And it'll probably be even more meaningful when it's done. But as I tell our guys all the time, and this is not an original, so let me make sure I get this right, you have the lifetime of an opportunity to take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime. And to me, playing at Marquette, coaching at Marquette is an opportunity of a lifetime, so we better take advantage of it during the time that we have.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
After a serious injury, you'll need an experienced team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account with Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank today and score golden perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own exclusive MU Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold at home or on the road. And don't miss this golden opportunity to let everyone know. Scan now to open your account today. Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank, proud to be the official bank of Marquette University.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my happiest.
This is me at my bravest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Aurora Healthcare on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Pepsi. Thirsty for more. Inside Marquette Basketball here with head coach Shaka Smart, and another big week, a road game against Iowa State. You guys handled the road test against Maryland very well. Again, going to the Bahamas recently to play Georgia, but Iowa State presents a really unique challenge. And you said one of the best environments in college basketball. What do you think you'll see as you continue to wrap up your non-conference play here?
Well, it'll be a heck of a challenge. They've got a great team. They are really well coached, and as I mentioned, that atmosphere is a tough one. I played many games in there. But, for us, the focus as always has to be on us being our best and finding a way to make sure that we support each other at the highest level, because you can't go into road atmospheres against good teams and go take the game unless you have ultimate connectivity.
As a team defensively, you're holding opponents to less than 70 points per game. You've been one of the best teams in terms of creating turnovers and steals, 12 steals per game. What have you liked about the intensity, the execution defensively that you've seen here early?
Well, our deflections are way up, which is good. And that's something that we are going to need to continue, because the way we play, we do gamble a lot. And it's a fine line between gambling too much, it's a risk-reward thing. And it is, something that's well thought out on the part of our players and even our coaching staff. But we have to get our hands on the ball. We have to be very active. We've got to get the loose 50-50 balls. And then just guarding the basketball better. One of the reasons that Georgia game was so challenging was they continually drove us and gave us a hard time, put us in rotation. So we got to get down in the stance and old-fashioned one-on-one basketball, stay in front.
Well, then, of course, the big rivalry game, Wisconsin coming to play Saturday afternoon at Fiserv Forum. It's a matchup that fans look forward to all year long. I know your team loves this game as well, and it's another strong opponent here. Just like you guys saw in Purdue, you'll see in Iowa State. Looking ahead?
The rest of them are strong, Sophia. I told the guys after Western Carolina, hey, there'll be no more games like that. These are strong opponents that we have the rest of the way out. It's hard to believe that we only have 3 non-conference games left. Non-conference has gone really, really fast. But, for us, whether we're on the road or at home, again, I think a huge part of key to victory for us is being the more aggressive team, being the team that is playing, as we say, through approach goals, which is going after it, as opposed to avoidance goals. And sometimes games do hold special importance to fans and people maybe around the game, and that's part of what you sign up for as a coach or as a player. But the reality is what goes into winning does not change from game to game.
Well, another big week, another opportunity for your team here. Iowa State and Wisconsin coming up. Thanks, Coach, for your time as always. That's Inside Marquette Basketball with Shaka Smart here at the Al McGuire Center.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,